Hi, thanks for listening to the Practicing Connection podcast. I'm Jessica, and today, Coral will share a practice with us about something that might sound small, but it can have an incredible ripple effect: the simple act of reaching out. We'll explore how a few intentional minutes each day can strengthen our relationships, our communities, and even our sense of purpose. Hi, Coral. How are you?
Hey, Jessica. I'm doing really well, thanks. I absolutely love this topic because it reminds me that connection doesn't always have to be a big time-consuming effort. It can kind of feel that way sometimes. But yeah, often it's really the smallest gestures that can create some of the deepest impact. Simply a text, a quick check-in, or just a short note that says, "Hey, just thinking about you." Doesn't have to be huge or massive to make a massive impact.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to stand outside their window holding a boombox above your head. I know it's a different kind of declaration, but anyway. And I really think that so many of us want to be better about that. We mean to reach out to people. I mean, I know I do all the time. I think about people I want to reach out to. We mean to reach out to people that we care about or to follow up after a really good conversation. I mean, hello, conferences.
Yeah.
But it's really easy for that intention to get lost in the day-to-day busyness.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of us, I'm actually totally speaking for myself here, thinking about connection, it's like, oh, I need to call so and so. And it just trying to find the time and space to do that big catch up, it can feel really intimidating. And what we're going to talk about today is really a way to build that habit into your life in a very simple, approachable, doable way. And it only takes but a few minutes to help you stay genuinely connected.
Well, let's talk about it. Before we get into the actual practice itself, why does this matter?
Yeah. So when we talk about practicing connection, we're often thinking about how to build and strengthen relationships over time with our colleagues, friends, family, community members. But the catch is the connection, it doesn't just happen, right? It takes intention, even when that action itself is quite small. And so I like to think of it as aptly named practice for today, as well as planting seeds. So you might not see anything grow straight away, but each little outreach, each little moment of care or gratitude, it really does have the potential to bloom in unexpected ways.
Yeah. And I know that the term planting seeds gets used for a lot of things, but it really is, it's such a beautiful image. And in this case, it really takes the pressure off. You're not reaching out with an agenda or expecting something back from the person. You're just tending to your relationships in small but consistent ways.
Exactly. And this idea really has been wonderfully captured. If you're familiar with the entrepreneur Jesse Itzler, he shares this practice in a very similar vein. He calls it the 3-minute rule. But simply it's the practice that did inspire today's episode in large part. But the idea is simply to spend 3 minutes a day, and you can certainly modify this to suit your own daily timeline. But as a core practice, we invite you to just spend 3 minutes a day reaching out to 3 people. And the anchor here, though, is that there's no ask, no goal. It's just a moment of connection. And whether it be a text or a quick note or a voice memo, which I'm a huge fan of, bit by bit, these really tiny, small gestures or seeds, if you will, they build a powerful network of really genuine relationships.
Yeah, I love that. It's really practical, but it's also heart-centered, right? And it's something, or you could even say human-centered.
Yes. I love that.
And it's something that we can all do, no matter how full our schedules are.
Exactly. All right. So let's just cut to the chase. And here is how to try it. Each day, take 3 minutes. You can even literally set a timer if that is helpful, and reach out to 3 people. It could look like sending a quick thank you to a colleague, writing a text to a friend you haven't talked to in a while, writing a short message, or sending a quick voice memo to someone who has made an impact on your life. And again, just to reiterate, the key here is there's no ask, there's no agenda, it's just connection. And you could even say, "Hey, so-and-so, no need to reply. I just wanted to let you know X, Y, and Z." It can be as simple as that. And, truly, it doesn't have to be perfect or profound. It's just this simple, straightforward note of just thinking of you, sharing that small sentiment that can make someone's day and just help keep that relationship alive.
Yeah. And the great thing about this is it's small enough to actually do. We all have 3 minutes somewhere in our day, even though it sometimes doesn't feel like it. So, like between meetings, while the coffee's brewing, before we log off for the day. And I think you and I talked a little bit about this beforehand, that we could also make this about one person, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could even just reach out to one person. You don't have to make it three. It doesn't have to be perfect, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking car line, school pickup. There's lots of places that we can, while we're in the midst of waiting, not to fill space with more things, but I think intentional things that we can slot into those waiting spaces can really add up. And really the key here is doing it consistently. It becomes part of your rhythm. And whether it's 3 people a day or one person a day, kind of the cool math here is that if you do the 3 people a day, it adds up to over 1,000 connections and touch points for that year. And, not every one of those will lead to something big, but together, collectively, it forms a web of trust and generosity that strengthens both your personal and your professional relationships.
Yeah. And it's not just about the other person, right? So reaching out like this keeps you in a mindset of appreciation. I would say it reminds you that connection is everywhere, and it takes just that small little spark to keep it alive. And the more you're reminding yourself that this is something that's really important to do, the more you're going to notice. You're going to notice those moments that you can write about or that you can reach out to a person about.
I think that's that's a beautiful reflection too. And that is the beauty of it. You're not just building your network, you're building your capacity for gratitude, for empathy, for presence, and just absolute generosity and showing up for the people that you are connected with.
So that's the practice for this episode, planting seeds, the 3-minute connection practice. Every day, set aside 3 minutes to reach out to 3 people. No agenda, just appreciation and connection. You can even tell them, no need to get back to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just as a fun bonus, if you would like to take this a little bit of a step further and really set the habit, we've created a fun bonus 30 by 3 challenge. It's a 30-day tracker to help you get and then keep this habit going. And it's just a fun way to visualize the connections that you're building and sort of see your air quotes here, garden of outreach grow over the month. And we're going to link a printable version in the show notes for your reference.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Practicing Connection. If you found it helpful, share it with a friend or colleague who might enjoy a simple way to nurture their relationships. We'll be back next week with another practice. Until then, keep practicing.
The Practicing Connection podcast is a production of OneOp and is supported by the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Office of Military Family Readiness Policy, U.S. Department of Defense, under award number 2023-48770-41333.